Hey guys, welcome to 8.3. This is the law of cosines. And remember we said law of cosines is better than law of sines if it's side angle side or side side side. All right, so we're just going to do one of each of those. And here is the law of cosines formulas. They're actually all the same thing, so it's not like you really have to memorize them. It's just the side squared that is opposite the angle is equal to the sum of the two other sides squared minus 2 times their product times the cosine of the angle of this side. So you'll notice a pattern. Like if you're trying to find angle A or side A, then these are both B's and C's. If you're trying to find angle or side B, then these are all A's and C's. And if you're trying to find angle C or side C, then these are all A's and B's. But it's all the same formula. All right, so let's try it. Number 1. Solve the triangle means find all the missing stuff. Okay, and then I'm just going to draw a picture just because why not? I have no idea if this is drawn to scale, but it doesn't matter. So A is 2, B is 3, and C is 60 degrees. Okay, they want you to find all the stuff. So because I have angle C, I think I'm going to use this formula with the C's on the ends. Okay, so side C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2 times A times B times cosine of angle C. And then all you need to do is type this straight in the calculator and then square root it to get side C. And again, make sure you guys are in degree mode, which you should be. Okay, so 2 squared plus 3 squared minus 2 times 3 times cosine of 60. And that's 7, but then that's C squared, so you have to square root that. And you get, and you could leave it as square root of 7, or you can get it as a decimal, about 2.6. Either one's fine. Okay, so we found side C, that's square root of 7. Now to find A and B, we can just use, we can do law of cosines again, or we can go back and use law of sines. Okay, so let me use a new pen here. I'm going to go and I'm going to try to find angle A next by law of sines. Okay, so it's going to be sine of A over 2 equals sine of 60 over root 7. Okay, so I'm just using the A's and the C's. And we're going to cross multiply and divide. And let's see what we got here. So sine of 60 times 2 divided by square root of 7. But since we're finding an angle, we have to do inverse sine of that decimal. And you get 40.9 degrees. Now, one thing we have to be careful of, since I used angle side side, we have to make sure that we have the right triangle. So if we do 180 minus 40.9, that would be, if there was a second triangle, angle A would be 139.1, which wouldn't work with the 60, so we're okay. There's only one triangle. Okay, so angle A is 40.9, side C is 2.6, and I think all we're missing is angle B. And angle B we just find by doing 180 minus the 40.9 minus the 60. And you end up getting 79.1. Okay, so just be careful. If you switch over to law of sines, just be careful if you're using the ASS that you check if there could be a second triangle. Otherwise, just keep doing law of cosines and you'll be fine. Okay, let's try number 2. So use law of cosines to solve a side, side, side. Okay, so I'm going to draw a picture. and let's say A is 4, B is 3, and C is 6. And they want you to find all the extra stuff. So I always like to find the biggest one first. So I'm going to try to use the C formula again. Okay, but this time we have the side. So it's going to be 6 squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2 times A times B times cosine of C. So this time we're trying to find an angle. Okay, so here's how you guys are going to type it in. We're going to start by subtracting these over. So 6 squared minus 4 squared minus 3 squared. Okay, so now we have 11 equals, and then we might as well just multiply this all out. 2 times 4 times 3 is negative 24 cosine of C. So then we have to divide both sides by negative 24. But then since it's an angle, we have to do inverse cos of that decimal. Okay, so angle C is going to be 117.3 degrees. Okay, so however you want to do it. You want to subtract this over and then divide by this and then do inverse if it's an angle. Okay, so angle C is 117.3 degrees, and now we need to find angles A and B. So now if you want to find angle A, you could do law of cosines again, or you can switch over to law of sines. And I'm going to do that. So if I'm going to use law of sines, I'm definitely going to use the C's, and I'm going to use the A's. So sine of C over side C equals sine of A over side A. And now we can just cross multiply and divide and then use inverse because it's an angle. So 4 times sine of 117.3 divided by 6, but then inverse sine of that. So angle A is 36.3. Now because we used angle side, we do want to check 180 minus 36.3 is way too big, so not possible for there to be a second triangle. And then angle B is just going to be 180 minus angle C and angle A. So 180 minus angle A minus angle C. So angle B must be 26.4 degrees. And then I think we're done. Okay, awesome. All right, flip it over. And, oh, I'm debating if I'm just going to do this on the video. And then we'll have more time in class to practice because this can kind of be a long one. Okay. So a motorized boat leaves Naples bound for Key West 150 miles away. So this distance from here to here is the 150. Okay. The speed is 15 miles an hour, but heavy winds are coming and strong currents, and after 4 hours, the boat is off course by 20 degrees. So this is 20 degrees here. And then if it's traveling 15 miles per hour for 4 hours, then would you guys agree that it's traveled 60 miles in the wrong direction? Okay. How far is the sailboat from Key West then? So they want to know how far off track did they get, and that's why this is the X. Okay, so let's see, we have side, angle, side, right? We have the 60, the angle 20, and the side 150 here. So for side, angle, side, if we're looking for X, let's do law of cosines. Okay, so x squared is going to be equal to 60 squared plus 150 squared minus 2 times 60 times 150 times cosine of 20. Okay, so go ahead and just type this in the calculator and square root it, and we'll be able to get x. Okay, so I'm just going to do it all in one. Big square root sign. 60 squared plus 150 squared minus 2 times 60 times 150 times cosine of 20. So I got 189.24. Ugh. Oh, why do I have something weird here? Why is it saying I? Oh, let me fix this. Okay, hang on. Let me type that in again. So square root of 60 squared plus 50 squared. Oh, 150 squared. Minus 2 times 60 times 150 times cosine of 20. Okay, something was weird with my calculator. You should end up getting 95.8. What is this, miles? So x is about 95.8 miles. Sorry, calculator issues there. Okay, cool. B, through what angle should the sailboat turn to correct its course? So they want to know, let's say it kept heading this way, what would theta have to be so it could get back on track to get to Key West? Okay, so for that one, we're trying to find that angle. If we could just find this angle first, then we can use it to find theta. Okay, so you can use law of sines or law of cosines to find this angle right here. Let's call it angle A. So I'm going to do law of cosines because then we don't have to worry about the two triangles. Might be easier. Okay, so if we want to find angle A, then its opposite side is 150 squared equals. And then it's going to be 60 squared plus 95.8 squared minus 2 times 60 times 95.8 times cosine of theta. And theta, actually, we're calling it A. So we're trying to find angle A. All right, so if you guys do this, it's 150 squared minus the 60 squared minus the 95.8 squared, but then we have to divide by this. So divided by negative 2 times 60 times 95.8. Make sure you put that in parentheses. And then we need to do inverse cosine to get that angle. So hopefully you guys get 147.7. So angle A is 147.7 degrees. But I don't think that's what we want. We want this angle here. But notice they're just going to be supplementary because they make a linear pair. So let's just do 180 minus that. So final answer, 32.3 degrees. Okay, so that's that part. And then C, how much time has been added to the trip because of this getting off track? Assume the speed remains 15 miles per hour. Okay, so let's see. How much extra miles did they travel? So if they would have gone straight there, it would have been 150 miles. But they ended up traveling 60 plus 95.8. And we can just round that to about 96 miles. Okay, so they ended up traveling an extra, let's see, 60 plus 96, they ended up traveling 156 miles. So how many extra miles out of the way did they go? 6 miles. Okay. But how much time has been added to the trip because of this? So you guys know distance equals rate times time. So if they went an extra 6 miles and we divide that by the speed, 15 miles per hour, we'll find out how many hours they wasted. So 6 divided by 15 is 0.4 hours. And if we want to convert that to minutes, we'll just multiply by 60, and that would be about 24 minutes. So 24 minutes off track because of that mistake. All right, I know that was a long one. Thank you guys for watching. We will practice more in class.